Hello, hello, hello. It's me, and it's Monday, and it's just gone 7 o'clock. I was having difficulties with my music for some reason or other. It does not want to play. It keeps wanting to play all sorts of other things. So, anyway, I will sit here waiting, and there are a couple of people on. Hi, Angela. And please, please let us know you're there, or let me know you're there, and let me know your questions. I think that's very important. We need the questions. So I want to know what sort of day you've all had. Good morning, Ian, and good evening, Bella. Another manic Monday. Just another manic Monday. Da, da, da. Seeing as my music wouldn't play, I've just sang for you instead. I've got no idea what's happening with my music. It just doesn't want to. I was trying to play Mahler's Fifth Symphony for you, the fourth movement, and now it's stuck, and I don't know why. Nice to see my happy face. Hello, Gillian. Good to see you as well. And I hope you're all well. I'm just writing some things down. Okay. I've written a list of things here again because I think it's always good. Renee, you might be able to help me. What was the epiphany that I had to do with energy today? I was trying to rack my brain. I should have written it down. I've got a head like a sieve. Hello, Kristen. Lovely to see you as well. But I was writing something down here about energy, and yeah, I couldn't remember what I said. Things seem to go in one ear and out the other ear, which is a bit of a shame. Anyway, here I am yet again. So lovely to see you all. I've had a nice surprise this afternoon because my daughter's family all descended on me because they had to be out of the house for a while. So, that's it. Yes, energies have no boundaries in time or space. I'm going to talk about that. Energies. Thank you, Renee. No, I'm glad I've got somebody like you around. In time or space. Okay. Hello, Resha. Good morning. Oh, of course, it's morning in various places, so it's good. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. And I'm off. Okay. So, what have you all been up to, and have you got any questions? I've got a couple of things that people have asked me about, so I'll try and cover those. I'm going to make sure I've got my phone on silent. So it looks like we're not going to get any music tonight, which is such a shame. We can still do the healing at the end, which I think you all know is very important to me. And there are a lot of people out there who need healing. We're in a crazy world at the moment with crazy people doing crazy things, and this is one of the craziest of them all. But I like being crazy. I don't care. I think I'd rather be crazy and happy than miserable and sad. And I think I've always said that. So so that's how I feel, and that's what I want to say. So I want to know how you're all coping in the UK, because I know you're all on lockdown, and it's still another fair few weeks to go yet, which is such a shame. And I know that you're struggling, but listen, it really does pay off. Stick with it, and you'll be surprised. You know, you come out the other end, and you'll be very, very happy that you did what you did. I know a couple of my friends are saying, "Oh, it's really," but then there's others of them, and they say, "Well, we've got to do it. We've got to put up with it. So let's just crack on with it." So anyway, I'm suffering a bit today because I ran out of hay fever tablets 2 days ago, and today I think I nearly scratched my eyes out. They were so sore. I hate hay fever. My 4-year-old granddaughter said to me, "What's the matter, Nanny?" And I said, "Hay fever." And she said, "What's that?" And I said, "Well, it's things floating around in the air." I didn't explain it very well. And of course, it just set me off. Anyway, it was lovely to see her. She just started school, so she came to the house in her sports uniform, which was very exciting. So we had all the episodes of what was going on in the day. So that's always lovely. Hello, Jill. Lovely to see you. So Ian says no snow at the moment, and yet in various parts of the UK, I'm seeing lots of beautiful snow pictures. And I saw my granddaughter lying down in the snow and making snow angels, which is the first thing that I do when I see snow, is I have to lie down and make snow angels. It doesn't matter how old I get, I don't get any better. I seem to be deteriorating as I get older. Anyway, so what have we got to talk about? So last week I had the lovely Karen. I've forgotten her name. Anyway, the lovely Karen. And she was talking to us about, and somebody laughed because they said, gosh, she talks a lot. And I said, well, it's funny because when I first, I went over to the UK in March, and she and I were sitting and talking, and I showed her how to use Zoom and make posters and blah, blah, blah. And she's absolutely run with it, which is great. And then on Saturday, they were running so Karen and Neil were running a charity event in the UK. It was based in the UK, but they had mediums from everywhere, including myself. And they were raising money for Mind, which is mental health awareness. And they raised £1,600 plus, which is the equivalent of $3,200 plus, which was a phenomenal amount. And it was so professionally run. So they had a Zoom room, and then they had breakout rooms for all the different events that were going on, and it went like clockwork. It was just incredible. Thank you, Bella. I'm glad somebody pays attention. Karen Wood. Yeah. Oh, she's going to hate me because I'm Val Hood, so we're very similar. Anyway, sorry, Karen. I'm just having one of those, my brain doesn't want to work today. I've been doing that all day. And I think it's tiredness, because yesterday I went out on my kayak again. So I did a 3.5-hour kayak in the lovely heat. I was battling against wind and blowing wind in the air, by the way. And then on the way up, we thought, or on the way back, we thought, oh, it's going to be easy because we just got the wind behind us. But we were in a tidal river, and it was the tide was coming in. So the tide was coming up the river with us, but as the waves went backwards, we were sort of going backwards as well. So we were battling with the elements a little bit. But anyway, it was great fun. I'm developing muscles on top of muscles, but my legs ache and my midriff aches. So it must be doing me some good. But and the funny thing was, so like the last time, I did a 4-hour paddle, and that was the first one for 5 years. And this one, I got out of the boat and I thought, I've got to sit here for a while because I know my legs are not going to work. And when I got up and out of the boat, yes, my legs were all wobbly. But it soon came back. But you know what? I was really, really proud of myself, because when I used to go kayaking before, I didn't have to lift the boat on top of on the roof, because there was a couple of us that used to go out and all the guys used to do it. And of course, this time I've got the boat. I've got now a 4x4, so I've got to get the boat up on top of there, and I've got to do it myself. And I was panicking for a few days, thinking, oh, how am I going to do it? How am I going to do it? So I went out on Saturday, and because I had to get up early on Sunday morning to do that, and I was working late Saturday night in the UK, which I'll talk about in a minute. So I went out, and I thought, please, I don't want anybody watching me. I don't want anybody offering to help me. So one of my lovely friends, Jeff, had said to me, right, he said, you present the boat, the kayak, at the end of the car, and you have it pointed, the pointy end upwards, and then you lift it and lower it onto the roof rack. And I did it, and I was so happy. And then I lowered it off the same way when I got there. So I've now done that on my own twice. So again, I'm going to be developing muscles, but I felt so proud of myself that, at my age, I can do something like that. And as I said, I haven't done it. I'm sure other people my age do things like that, but I haven't done it for a long, long time. And I was really quite not confident in the fact that I was going to be able to do it, but I did it. So I now know I can go out on my own, and it's not an issue for me, which is wonderful. But what an exhilarating feeling to just be paddling on the water and, toddling down and toddling back. And it was just lovely. Anyway, something that I love doing. And somebody was talking today, excuse me. So I was doing a class today, and you're in trouble, Ian. Less of the old, please. I don't mind being a poor soul, but not an old soul. Although I might be an old soul, I've probably been here millions of times before, and I'm hoping that that is the case. Anyway, now you've distracted me and I can't remember what I was going to say. Anyway, doesn't matter. It gives me a chance to go on to something else. So don't forget, if you've got questions, please let me know. Okay, Gillian says, for the first time ever this morning, I saw spirit as if they were a real person in front of me. How do I ask spirit to keep showing themselves? It is as it just happened randomly, even though I ask them quite often. Okay. When I first started developing Gillian, and this is for everybody, spirit used to show themselves all the time, and it used to terrify me. So I'd have, people walking up my stairs, walking up the corridor, walking in my bedroom, standing in the corner, and I got to the point where I was actually frightened, and I said, "Go away! I'm frightened. I don't want to see you again." But I still knew that they were around, and then they knew that I wasn't frightened. So they used to show themselves more. And now, 30 odd years later, I see them, I don't see them. It doesn't matter. It's the fact that you know that they're there. When I see spirit, I always see spirit when I do my readings for people, because they show a description of themselves, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. And I've got that down here. And I love to be able to see them and to be able to give a description and then compare them to the person who's sitting in front of me, which is wonderful. So fantastic that you're seeing spirit. So that for me tells me that you're doing the right work. You're in my class. You should be in a class. You should be learning how to do this. And we're going to just keep hold of you and make sure you do a great job. So just instead of being demanding of spirit, which I can be sometimes, just maybe go, if you want to show yourself, fine, and if you don't, fine, but just let me know you're around. And I think that's just coming to an agreement, if you like, a respectability and understanding of spirit. It's like people, you don't always want them on your front door, but if they're there, you're happy, and if they're not, you're happy just as well. So, there we go. So, Angela has said, I'm listening to my urges, hence had brown low lights in my hair today for the first time in 30 years. I feel spirit want me to concentrate on self-acceptance. Do you get urges? All the time. I know when spirit are talking to me. I know when they're telling me, don't do this, go that way, go that way. And we really, really do have to pay attention. I've said this before, spirit gets super excited when they realize that there is somebody around that can see them, can hear them. Have you seen the film, was it Ghost? Not Ghost, but the one with Ricky Gervais in it, where he's walking along the street and somebody says, he's talking to somebody and they say, you can see us. And he said, yeah, of course. So, of course, that's a spirit, and the spirit's then screaming to all the other spirits, there's one that can see us, and that's what happens. Hi, Lorraine. So spirit gets super excited, and I explain to people, and my students especially, that we are all like beacons of light, and some of us shine brighter than others. And can you imagine what it's like for the spirit world? They're all up there looking at us, and they're looking down, and they can see these bright lights, and they can see, oh, Ryan, you darling, how are you? And so they can see these lights, and then all of a sudden, bingo, there's one that's shining brighter than others. And they go, we're going to go and connect to them because we need to be able to work with them. Hello, Sue, and Lorraine as well. It's lovely to see so many different people this week. That's really good. So let me finish this, and then I'll tell you about the people that have just come on. So we're like beacons of light to the spirit world, and it doesn't matter who we are, what religion we are, what country we come from, what we believe in. Spirit still see us all the same way. And I don't care what anybody says. When we go over to the spirit world, we all get treated exactly the same. And the spirit world is super excited when we go home. We're sad and they're happy because they are going home, or we are going home. Our spirit's going home. So working for spirit, the spirit people see you as a beacon of light. They get so excited. They attach themselves to you, And if you're not careful, they'll be there all the time, buzzing and buzzing and buzzing. So what you have to say to them is, please step back. Yes, I'm going to work with you. And what I teach my students, I have to duck down for this, I've done this before, is at the crown chakra, we have, and this is how I explain it, we have a little trap door. And when the trap door is closed, we are not working. And when the trap door is open, we've created a funnel or a filter, if you like, where spirit can direct their energies to us, and then they can talk to us and we can respond to them. But if you leave that trap door open, they'll talk to you all day. And it can be quite draining. So I say, look, go away and leave me alone. But respectfully, it's, I'm not working, I'm working. So I'm not working, I'm working. And I have had, over the years, and it's 30 plus years now, I've built a respect with the spirit world. So they know when I'm working and they know when I'm not working. So for those of you that have just said, that you're seeing spirit or you're responding to the urges that they give you, I hope they're nice urges, they usually are with spirit, then that is fantastic. And that means that your awareness is heightening. You're becoming more aware of them, but they are allowing you to see them. And then all you do is you say, well, as I just said, I'm ready to connect to you, I'm not ready to connect to you. Because they can be very intrusive sometimes, and I just think that's quite funny. But just, if you remember, I'm working and I'm not working. So I'm just going to talk to you about a couple of the people that have come on. Lorraine is a lovely medium. Oh, excuse me. Tissue. Oh, dear. I should remember to put these things by the side of me before I start, and I always forget, although I've usually got a tissue in my hand. Okay, so Lorraine is a lovely medium that is working the circuit in New South Wales. I'm not sure if you've actually been outside of New South Wales, Lorraine, do tell me. But yeah, lovely work that she does. Now, Ryan and I went on a course. It's got to be 6 years ago, Ryan, because I went just after my 60th birthday, and we were on a course with Paul Jacobs, who's a brilliant teacher, a tough taskmaster, but a brilliant teacher. And Ryan and I were working together, and Ryan has gone on to do the most amazing work for himself. And do you know what I love about you, Ryan, is when I see the photographs of you, you always look immaculate. You're always dressed in a suit and a waistcoat, or a suit and a tie, or a jacket and a tie, and you always look beautiful. And I've heard the way you speak to your recipients, and it is so respectful. And I just love it. I just love it. So it's really lovely for you to connect on here. It is, and you're in the Bristol area. I know you've got the most beautiful Bristolian accent, or West Country accent, and I love it. So fantastic to see you on here. Yeah, I am keeping very well, and and I remember those days fondly at the AFC. And if I remember rightly, we were one of 4 people left in the class, and we were given a bit of a tough time in that last class. Anyway, Sue and I go back to when I was about 10. And that is going back an awful long time. So Sue, you must be a similar age to myself. And we used to sing in the same choir. So it was the Ely Girls Choir in a place called Ely in Cardiff. And we were the most amazing choir. And I remember I wouldn't say boo to a goose in those days, and I was terrified. And Sue was, I think, Sue, you must be a couple of years older than me, because I'm 66. And, all right, I won't give your age away. I'm not quite 66. But we used to sing in this choir, and it was incredible. And we used to travel all over Wales and do the Llangollen Eisteddfod. It's hard to say that, but the big national Eisteddfod and international Eisteddfod, sorry. And we were, our choir master, Ian Lewis, 68, goodness. He split the choir into 2. So we were all 16 and under, and we entered the international choir competition, and he entered two of the choirs. There were 36 international choirs, so that's from all over the world. And the choir that I was in, I don't know if you were in the same choir, Sue, but anyway, I was in the one that came 6th, and I think the other choir didn't get placed, which was a shame. But, we were all super proud, and we stayed in a school, and we were given these camp beds, which must have been they'd kept them since the war. And when all the older students went out for a bit of a jolly outside, uh, excuse me, us youngsters used to we used to entertain ourselves, and we used to do like talent competitions. And I remember standing on one of these beds with a pillow up my jumper, impersonating Harry Seacombe, who was a large man, and I was singing "If I Ruled the World." As the bed collapsed under me, the pillow burst because it was feathers, and our choir master came in the door. It was so funny. I don't know if you can remember that, Sue, but it was near a graveyard, and we used to go into the graveyard at night time. I still frequent graveyards because they're one of my favourite places. But fabulous memories of the choir and all the people that were in it, and I'm so happy that we've reconnected. So Sue has lived in Australia and Switzerland and all over the world, but we came from little Welsh Wales, Cardiff, Ely. Who'd have thought that we would all be doing what we're doing all over the place? And I know there are several others that are doing the same, all over the place. So Ryan has said, lovely to connect to you again. Perhaps we could have a chat sometime. I'm off to do my morning meditation. Ryan, I would love to do some work with you, and maybe we can time it. England, Australia. I've been doing a lot of work in England at the moment with Zoom. So maybe we could do that. That would be absolutely fabulous. So yes, let's speak. Send me a message, and we will we will do that. That would be fabulous. So Sue says that's right. Scared the life out of me. Anyway, okay. So okay, where was I? I was talking about. Okay, let me talk about classes. And okay, somebody asked me a question last week about, and I didn't get to cover their question. So it's one of my lovely friends in the UK who sends me messages every now and again, which is beautiful. So the darling lady who knows who she is, and I won't mention her, I thank you for your lovely questions. So keep them coming. We didn't answer the question last week properly because I didn't quite get the gist of what was asked, but I'm hoping that I get the gist of this one. So she was talking about, I've mentioned a couple of times about doing a funeral for my lovely friend Mary Edwards. I've lost touch with her family, sadly. Okay, we'll see you soon, Sue, and thank you for joining me. It's really, really lovely to see you. So come back again, and any questions, bring them. Okay, so Mary's funeral, and so it started off with I've been to see Mary. She was very, very poorly. I didn't realise how poorly, and I said to her, "I'm writing a book. Can I come and talk to you about your experiences with spirit so I can add them to my book?" And she said, yeah. So we went over there, and you know what? We laughed and laughed and laughed for 2.5 hours, and I recorded it. And she told me about all the spooky stories, all the the things that happened with spirit, and the mist going around the room, and knowing that somebody had died, and blah blah blah. Anyway, a few weeks later she passed, and it was a beautiful day in June, July. We only have a couple in the UK, sorry. But it was a beautiful day. And I went out to have a look at my fish in the pond. I had koi carp, and it was beautiful. And I love the sound of the water running. I think I was going off to do a spiritual something or other, and that would be my place to go and just connect with that water and nature. And I'm standing there for a little while looking at the fish, and I went, "Hello, Mary." "Oh, hello, Mary." Oh, gosh. And anyway, she passed because I'm seeing her spirit. And she was just beaming at me. It was just lovely. Within the hour, I got a phone call from her daughter to say Mum's just passed. And I said, "I know. She's already been here talking to me." And she said, "Oh, that'll be Mum." And she wouldn't miss an opportunity, when she was in the physical or whether she's in the spirit. Anyway, she said, "So what are you going to do about Mum's funeral?" I said, "What do you mean?" "Mum asked me to read." No. I've got Mum's instructions here, and you are to do her funeral." And I went, "Oh my goodness, so what do you want me to do?" And they said, "Well, you got to do the funeral." So I really thought I was just going to do a reading, which would have been perfect. Anyway, I realised that I had to do the eulogy. thank goodness I've been to see Mary and I'd had that 2.5 hour recorded session with her, because I was able to take such a lot of information from that, which gave such a clear indication of her beautiful life, what she'd achieved in her life and the things that had happened and the loss of family for her and how that affected her. And then we were all told that we had to wear bright clothes, and it was a beautiful July's day. I'm sure it was July. Yeah, it was July. And it was so warm, so warm. And I remember I went in a cornflower blue, but there were all these beautiful colours. And the place was absolutely packed. And yeah, anyway, it was all organised. And the morning of the funeral, I remember thinking, who pushes the button? And I thought, oh, nobody's mentioned that. So I rang the crematorium and I said, oh, who pushes the button? They said, you do. Oh, anyway, I thought, okay, I've got to hold this all together and I've got to do this beautiful funeral. So I did the eulogy and everybody did their bit. And one of her granddaughters did the most beautiful talk. And you could see that she'd start to crumple. And I just stepped up to her and held her arms, as, you know, to give her a bit of support. And it was lovely. Anyway, at the end, her Mary had requested Vera Lynn or Dame Vera Lynn, We'll Meet Again. So the music started playing, and I said, wouldn't it be lovely if we all joined in? I said, Mary would be absolutely over the moon if we did. So I started the singing and everybody joined in, and we literally raised the roof off the place. It was just beautiful. And while the music was playing and while we were singing, her son he walked out of the audience from the back, and he's walking down the aisle. Oh, hi, Alan. How's the house? So he was walking down the aisle and he was pointing, and there on the wall was this bouncing ball of golden light. And it was bouncing up and down, up and down. It bounced off people's hymn sheets, and we were all checking to see, you know, is it us? Is it somebody's watch? Is it what? But it wasn't. And that ball of light bounced everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. And we were all completely amazed by what had happened. Anyway, we went, the funeral service finished, and her daughter was so happy. She said, I feel like I've just been to the theatre. And she said, Mum would have been so happy because the funeral was full of laughter, it was full of love, and it was full of her energy, which was great. And the story of her life really made it. So, you know, thank you, Spirit, because you made me go there. Anyway, we went back to the wake, and her son said to me, he said, Mum and I made a pact before she died that she would show me a golden ball of light after she passed. He said, but I never, ever, ever thought that she would be able to do it at her funeral. Now, how fantastic is that? So that was mother and son making a pact, because all the family believed and understood in spirit. So making a pact that she would show herself to the family in that way. It wasn't in any way, it was the golden ball of light. And she did it on the day of her funeral, which was phenomenal. So the golden ball of light, lovely friend asked me the question. That's what that was all about. Now, we see orbs all the time. You can call them what you like. I think they're spirit energy. We get them a lot in digital photographs, because I can't even talk. Digital cameras are so sensitive to everything, and we get lots of orbs. And it was funny because I've just reminded me, I did a reading for a lovely lady, and it was a dad that came through, and I said, your dad's telling me, although he wasn't at your wedding, he was at your wedding. And she said, what do you mean? I said, well, he's showing me a photograph of you and your husband, and he's in the picture. So I said, it must be an orb or something. So she went and had a look and sent me the photograph. And there is her and her husband. I think he was kneeling in front of her in her wedding gown. And there is this big orb right by the side of her. And she was so blown away to think that her dad had told her that that was him. So spirits show us in so many ways that they're around. I found it in the water yesterday, a feather. And I retrieve feathers all the time. You know, there's me canoeing or paddling down the river, and there's in the water, there's this feather. Thank you, picked it up and brought it home. And it was beautiful. It's a white feather, and I thought, I've got to keep it. So pay attention to, the lights that you see out the corner of your eye, or the things that you see in the corner of your eye, because it means more than you realize. Anyway, okay. So I was doing classes today, and I love the fact that I do a class on a Monday and then do this on a Monday evening, because it raises so many questions for me. And today there was a couple of things that came up. And I always talk to students about we have to raise our energies. And then it made me think, well, why do we have to raise our energies? And if you think about it, and I also said, and thank you, Renee, for this, energies have no boundaries of time or space. And what I was saying was everybody had to raise their vibration and then connect with all the little boxes that were on Zoom this morning, because an energy can do that, and spirit can do that, because energy has no concept. It was the concept word. Energy has no concept of time or space. So when we're raising our vibration or our energy and we're working with spirit, spirit can connect no matter where we are or how we're connected. So Zoom, we can see each other, so our energies are all connected to one another. And that is exactly what we do. But also, we have to raise our vibrations to be able to connect to the spirit world. And the spirit world lower their vibration, so we meet in the middle somewhere. And if we were at ground level, so to speak, and we hadn't done anything about our energy, and we were feeling really low and miserable, how are we expected to make that wonderful high vibrational connection if we are not connected ourselves, or if we're flat or miserable or whatever? It was funny because before I came on here tonight, I felt a little bit flat myself, only because I couldn't get the music working, and whether that happens at the end or not, I don't know. But anyway, so that's why we have to raise the vibration so we can all connect with one another, and then it helps the work that we do, and then it helps for spirit to be able to connect to us as well. So one of my lovely students, Angela, and you're not the only one, Angela, and you did a great job today, by the way. I was so proud of you and Tegan today. You've only been in 4 classes, and I'm just blown away by what you get. So I see some students, and they do this. They close their eyes. I don't like it when you close your eyes, and I know other tutors say don't close your eyes. And I know it's for the student to concentrate their energies and focus more. Excuse me. But if you're working with an audience, you're actually shutting your audience out. You're not watching their reactions. You're not watching the energy flow, which you can see. And you can see when you said something correct. Oh, you can see that it's like the peacock feathers go up, and the people are so happy and excited about the fact that it's my loved one, it's my dad, I'm connected to my dad. And we did this today in class, and you could see the joy, the happiness. And if you've got your eyes closed, you can't see or feel any of that. So keeping your eyes open when you work with spirit is so important. And I actually think if you have your eyes closed when you're speaking to somebody, a recipient, is actually a bit rude. So if you went to somebody's front door, I keep relaying it to going to somebody's front door. But if you go to somebody's front door and knock the door and you've got your eyes closed and say, hello, one, they're going to think you're mad. But, what else are they going to think? Oh, they don't want to look at me. What's the matter with me? Have I got 3 heads today? Or am I ugly and they don't want to see me? You don't know. Anyway, okay. So the other thing that came up was, okay, the week before last I did a great job, and this week I didn't do such a great job. So it's exactly the same. I'm knitting dolls' clothes for my grandchildren at the moment, and some days I do a great job, and then other days I unpick it 6 times because I've done it rubbish. And it's the same with the work I do. After 30 odd years, some days my energies are brilliant and I go bang, and it's really, bang, 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 bang. Other days it's slower and it doesn't work quite so well, and that's probably my fault because something's happened to me, my energy's low, or it could be a multitude of things, but it's usually your fault, not spirit's fault. So please don't expect that you're going to be the same and at the same level every week, because it doesn't always work that way. And Spirit are testing you and trying to see what works better for you. And, they'll find your niche eventually, but they've got to try you with everything. So when I first started, I belonged to a group. We did table tilting. We did moving objects. We did trying to turn water into wine. That would have been a great one, but it didn't work. We tried trance. I didn't like trance because I like to be in control of me, and that's when spirit uses your physical body. So it's almost like it pushes your spirit out, and then it uses your physical body to be able to convey a message to a recipient. So we tried trance, and then we tried mediumship as well. And mediumship was my forte. I'll have a look at your question in a second, Angela. So they try you with everything to see which way is going to be best for them. And think about this also. Each one of us are individuals and different here. Well, so is spirit. So all of a sudden, we've got somebody's loved ones coming through. And I love the fact that a lot of the people who come through to me, excuse me, so I used to be a musician and singer. I get lots of musicians and singers. I get lots of people who believe in spirit. What else? I get lots of people that connect with the same things that have been in my life, whether it's to do with my family or the work that I've done. So they use something that is familiar so they can find an easier way to work with you. So I know that that's very important. But the Spirit told me I have to provide the tools, the energy. Yeah, the tool is the energy. You provide the energy, they will provide the rest. But you have to work with them. It doesn't happen overnight. After 30 odd years, I'm still learning, I'm still finding new tricks, and I'm still doing things in a different way. So, okay. What we've been doing, and yes, that changing every week or changing of how you work is extremely scary. And I remember when it used to happen to me, and I go, oh, I don't know what they're doing with me today, but I'm just going to go, yeah, okay, whatever you give me, I'm going to work with it, and we'll just hope for the best. And it wasn't hoping for the best, because I actually put myself, and I talk to students about this all the time, put yourself on the wall, park yourself over there, get rid of the ego, and then just allow spirit to work with you, an open channel, an open vessel that can connect clearer. Okay, so, and it is scary, and I agree, it is scary. But you have to learn to trust, and I've written that down here as well. You have to learn to trust. And then you also have to learn not to second guess yourself. I see so many students, they go, oh, I got blah, blah, blah. Oh, but it could be, oh, no. Yeah. And I say, go with the first thing that you get, because that's probably the right thing, and it usually is. Okay, so in the last couple of weeks, we've been working with the clairs, and I've been trying to get students to work with clairvoyance, as in I see the spirit, I can give a description because they're showing it to me. Then the clairaudience, they're telling me, they're talking to me, I'm listening to them, this is what they're giving me. And the clairsentience, sorry, I got lost. Clairsentience, which is feeling. Now, if you've got a visual, and you've got the auditory, and then you've got the feeling of that most wonderful, passionate love that the spirit person brings through, isn't that incredible? Because you've then used your three clairs, clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, and you have physically used them. So you can see them, you are listening to them, and you are feeling their message of love, or their thank yous, or I'm sorry, or whatever it was, but you can feel it. And when you get that, goodness me, I get goosebumps from head to toe. Anybody that sees me working, the number of times I say, oh, it's giving me goosebumps. And it is wonderful. I think some of my students said that today, bringing that message through with such passion. It does, because when you've got it right. It's like it hits the spot, and then all the goosebumps and the hairs on your arms stand up. So, yeah, and okay, I think this is important. I've been watching people demonstrate recently, and it's taking them a good 5 minutes before they find their recipient. Now, if you are working closely with spirit, and you've got a good connection with them, you should be able to find your recipient within 2 to 3 minutes. Now, this is an exercise that I do with my class to get them working quicker. And I say, right, we've got 5 minutes to do a connection and a message. And the first 3 minutes, you've got to give all that information, as in, I can see this person, I'm hearing them talking to me, and then that takes 3 minutes maximum. And then that lovely clairsentience, that feeling, is the message that comes with that love and that passion and that heartfelt touch the soul sort of thing. And you should be able to do that whole thing in 5 minutes. So when you watch somebody that after 5 minutes is still trying to make their connection to spirit, I question that, and I question. I'm probably going to get this in the neck, or get it in the neck for this, but I question how they've been taught. I mean, I was taught, as most of you know, Arthur Findlay College, Arthur Findlay trained teachers, and I was taught the 7-minute rule. And, you know, a lot of people have given me a hard time about that, but after 30 years, I'm still doing it. It has become a discipline. And I have a clock by the side of me. You can probably hear it ticking away, but I have a clock by the side of me, and I am disciplined, and I watch that clock all the time. And this is what I'm trying to teach students to do as well, because it's important. You know, if you're working with an audience, for instance, and you've got, say, 30 people in an audience and you've got half an hour to do messages, then if you use the 5 minutes for each message, which is an experienced medium you should be able to do, then you're only going to be able to give 6 messages. But you hope that from that love and that sharing of that passion, that every other person in the room takes something from those messages. And I know that's happened in demonstrations that I've done. You know, people say to me, email me or come up to me afterwards and say, I didn't get a message, but I took something from everything that was said, or from that little bit that you gave. And that's what we've got to try to do. So please try and remember, if you're a working medium, cut your time down, work faster with spirit. And, you know, don't say, oh, they don't work with me fast. Oh, they always work with me slow. Then set your boundaries, set your intentions. If you say to spirit, I'm doing 5-minute messages, you have got to work with me that way. I've got 30 minutes to work. I want 6 messages, please. They'll listen. And they usually don't let you down. So trust that. Okay. Anxiety blocks us. When we're anxious, it does block us, especially as students. I know this sounds crazy, but after 30 years, I'm still terrified before I come on here or do a workshop or do a demonstration or do a church service. But as soon as they say, oh, Val, it's over to you, it's bang. And I know, because I've put that intention out, but that it's like spirit just takes over. And when they take over, I trust that they're going to do what they're supposed to do. And at the end, it's almost like they walk away and leave me. And I'm going, oh, I hope that was okay. Oh, I should have done this. I could have done that. And I've always done that. So, you know, that's just me. But I know that, you know, I've not, if I can remember, I've probably only disappointed 2 people in 30 years. And I know that was for private reading, but I gave them their money back. Because it was not me that was the issue, it was them. And it's sometimes, you know, people sit in front of you and it's like, yeah, prove it to me. And it's really, really hard. And you think, you know, what am I doing this for? Anyway, so talked about kayaking, which was wonderful. Now, I wanted to talk to you about, so I belong to a wonderful church, and I've already mentioned that Karen Wood and Neil Payne, who do some amazing work in the UK, by the way. If you're in the UK, look them up, because they're doing lots of online things. They do lots of demonstrations of mediumship, and a lot of them are free. And it's good if you're a practicing medium, go and have a look at other mediums. But if you want to get messages of love and whatever, go and see them, because they have some fantastic people on their platforms. So I've got bats going by. I have to look up the significance of that. But I belong to Wollongong Spiritualist Church, and I'm one of the reverends there, and work alongside or for Sue Edmonds, who is the reverend and been running it for 30 years. But unfortunately, the building that is now 50 years old plus is falling down. And I say falling down, it needs lots of repairs. So I have taken it upon myself to actually do a fundraiser. And I was going to do it as a birthday fundraiser because that's coming up. But Facebook restrict you to their charities. So I thought, well, it is a non-for-profit organisation, the Wollongong Spiritual Church, and we've got part of a roof that needs repairing. We've got some electrical things that need doing. We've got some plumbing that needs doing. And if there's anybody out there that's listening that it lives in the area that can do any of these things, I'd love to hear from you. But we have got a GoFundMe thingy, and I put that up so you can just see that. And if it's $5, £5, it doesn't matter. And I've been blown away by the people who have responded. We're here in New South Wales in Australia, and somebody from my hometown in the UK has donated some money. So, I can't say thank you enough. That is wonderful. And she said she's got a bit of a soft spot for people who want to raise funds. And she said, if the dunny needs a new roof, I'm here to help. So, and the dunny is a toilet, by the way. And the dunny roof was fixed a week or so ago. So that doesn't need fixing, but there's still other things that do. So, any help that anybody could give would be so, so wonderful, because it's a wonderful church. It offers a lot to the community. And we're trying to build it back up. We've been closed for nearly a year, and you still got to pay all the bills, like the water and the rates and and the pot's been going down, and there's been nothing coming in. So I don't want to make it a sob story, but if anybody is willing to help, then thank you. That would be just wonderful. So I'm going to put my information up as well, and if anybody wants to email me or check out my website, then please do. Right, let me see if anybody's made any comments. No, nobody else wants to talk to me. Rotten lot. Okay, so yeah, any help on that one would be fantastic. So Inner West are doing their services. They're at the moment still doing online services. So that's the Inner West Spiritual Centre. Again, you can find them, or if you can't, then message me. We're doing once a fortnight, or the first and third week of the month, and we were hoping that we could go back to the hall, but that's not possible for the minute. So we're hoping maybe March. So we'll keep everybody posted. Okay, bye Lorraine. Nice talking to you. And but we're doing it online. And last week we had Julie Rogers, who did numerology, and the week after, so a week tomorrow, we've got Jenny Doherty. Anybody that's seen Jenny Doherty, you are in for a real treat. She is the most fantastic medium, and she makes me laugh because she said, people don't like working with me, and I adore working with her because she's so straight as they come. There's no messing, and her mediumship is absolutely on the ball. So all of this information you can find through Brett's site or through my site, or just email me, val@valhood.com. Hi Simone, I didn't realise you were on. How lovely to see you. So Brett, and then what else have we got? So I'm doing a couple of events in the UK as well, and that's actually quite funny because I've done a couple of services at 6 and 6:30 in the morning, which is evening time, and then the other night it was 11 o'clock on Saturday in the daytime for the UK, and it was 10 p.m. my time. And my poor little body was going, I want to go to bed. But you know what? Again, Spirit didn't let me down. They were there by the side of me, gave some fabulous information and evidence. And, when you get people that go, wow, it makes you feel excited, and it makes you so proud. And it's not ego. It just makes you feel so proud to be able to do this work, to be able to bring that information to that recipient, to actually make them believe and trust and know that their loved ones are there because of the information that they're bringing through. And one of my lovely students, who is, this is her fourth week of classes, she was bringing a message through today, and she gave names, and she gave how they passed, and she said He worked in a factory. Well, the lady that Renee that's on here was receiving the message, and it was her partner's friend who'd been killed exactly as she described, and she didn't know about the working in a factory. And then this afternoon she messaged and said, my partner said, yes, he did work in a factory. So that is such incredible information to be able to give, especially as a newbie. So, well done, Team Val. Well done, my students. But, we can all do this. Every one of us can do this. And as I said, if any of you are mediums out there, if you've got that real close connection to spirit, and you're not delving in the psychic, because there's a difference in working psychic and working spirit. The psychic, I always say, is grappling around on the ground. And with spirit, you're listening. They're talking to you. They're giving you the information. So that's what you've got to do by raising that vibration and then listening to what they've got to say. Anyway, so remember, energies have no concept of time or space and no boundaries. I love that. So energies can be spread anywhere and everywhere. And if you think that spirit is an energy, and that spirit can connect to everything and anything. So I think that is absolutely wonderful. Now, listen, I am going to try and see if I can find and if it doesn't work, no, it's not doing it again. It's not doing it. So let's do it this way then. Excuse me a minute. Oh, no, it's not allowing me to get rid of the last song. Isn't that annoying? No. Anyway, can't do it. In all the world. I'll try it again. Sorry. Yeah. Shuffle. I don't want to shuffle. I just want to play it. Let's forget it. Okay. So we are. Oh, we're getting. We're getting Dirty Dancing instead. Oh dear. Stop. Don't you love it when technology doesn't work? I'll have to sort that out for next week. And all this time I've been doing it, I've never, ever had a really an issue like that. So Angela says my microphone sounds a bit funny. I wonder why that is. You see, I get this all the time. Does that sound any better? Anyway, we come to the end. So my fiddle. You would hate me. It would. If I got my fiddle out, you would hate me because you get that. But anyway, let's send healing out to the world, and I might sing a few lines. And if you want to join in, then please do. But we are sending out healing energies to the whole world because everybody is in need. So I want you all to imagine that you're sending that healing energy out with your left hand, receiving it in with your right hand. And I want you to send that and feel that lovely flow. Feel it flowing through your body. And it's funny because I always feel the tingles in my own body when I know that energy is going around. And I know you guys are all working with me as well. So, and thank you, Gillian. A lot of great advice. And it's only basic, natural, ordinary stuff that, I try and remember every day. Anyway, so healing is important. We're going to send that energy out. So once we've done that circle of energy and we've got that lovely flow going, I want you to imagine that you're sending that energy out into your own home, filling your own home, and then your own town, and connecting and filling your own town. Remember, energy has no concept of boundaries or time and space. So spirit can do this for us, okay? They can send that energy out. So then that energy, I want to go out to your county or your state, and then your country, and then the world, and then the universe. So we're doing a progressive sending out of healing energies and allowing our energies to grow and grow and grow. And I've got my healing book in front of me, and I put everybody's name in the healing book. Sorry, I got this from Hever Castle, by the way, so it's very special for me because, and it's got lots of prayers that were written by Anne Boleyn, so it makes it even more special. So if you've got any names for anybody that wants healing, please let me have their names and I'll write them in, and I do. And this book gets used nearly every day, so please remember that. So we're asking that all the people that are suffering in mind, body, and spirit be sent healing. We also ask that all the people who are suffering from the virus, and there are so many of them, which is so sad. But we're sending that healing energy out because we know that you can get over it, and we ask our lovely spirit friends to take that energy and to send that lovely healing energy to every single one of us, as well as every single one of the people that we connect with. So please send that wonderful energy. And I can't play it, but I'm gonna sing it to you. So join in, because otherwise I'm going to sound like an idiot on my own. But just one chorus. So heal the world, Michael Jackson. Heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying. If you care enough for the living, make a better place for you and for me. You and for me. You and for me. Ah, that wasn't so bad, was it? I think my choir master would have a few words to say about that. Anyway, you've been lovely. Thank you for all your lovely questions. Adriana, this platform is not for doing guidance and messages, unfortunately. It's for sharing spiritual guidance, spiritual education, and the knowledge that our loved ones are still with us and still here. Jill said, you brought my dear friend through the other day, and she'd only just passed from COVID, which was great. Thank you. And thank you for that, Jill. It is lovely when, love you too, Bella. It is lovely when you're able to bring loved ones back in the correct way, that you've given the right information that people, oh gosh, Spirit's with me, people know who you're connecting to. Hence why I said we should be able to do it in 3 minutes and just be able to give a few bits of information and know where we're going, or ask, does somebody understand that? And if we've done it correctly, we should be able to do it. So any questions you've got, please email me, because I love getting emails from people, and that's very important for me. I love to be able to help in any way I can. I sometimes push myself too much, but never mind. That's just me. Thank you, all of you, for joining in this evening. You are all wonderful, or this morning, this afternoon, wherever you are. I know it's the morning in the UK, and it's quite early there, so thank you for getting yourselves out of bed. You're beautiful people. I wouldn't be able to do this. It feels like I'm talking to myself, but I know that I've got the, stop it. I've got the reactions from you all. So I know that you are with me. I've said a lot tonight, and I'm sorry. But healing energies and love to you all. And thank you for joining me. Join me same time next week, 7 o'clock. Please bring your questions. I think the questions are important, but sharing the information that I've been sharing tonight, I feel is important, because a lot of you that are watching do this work or are learning to do this work. And a lot of these are pitfalls that I've fallen into and things that I've come across. So if I can help you with some of those, so you don't have to go through those, then it's for me it's brilliant, because I'm helping you to do it better, quicker, and in a better way. But remember, intent. For anything in the world we're in, intent is the right thing. If you want to be happy, you put that intention out. If you want to work with spirit, you say, please step near me and work with me. But if you don't want them around you, you say, step away. As simple as that. Okay, I could talk to you all night, because this is a subject that I am super passionate about. I think a lot of you know that already. But please keep your messages coming, keep your questions coming, and keep you coming. So I'm looking forward to seeing you next week at 7 o'clock again. Same time, same channel. And I know I've got the lovely Brett Thomas coming on in a few weeks. I'm not exactly sure when that's going to be because his dad, we're going to send healing out to him, has been a bit unwell. So it'll be either Brett coming up or I'll get Jenny Doherty, which will be fantastic. So love you all very, very much. And thank you for joining me. Okay.